Hello and welcome back to the garden sessions from the Blackford Book Club again, with a lucky 7th edition from my self-published book that I'm going to continue to show you like a magician's assistant. It's a book I'm immensely proud of. I self-published it in May of this year under the daunting title Chasing the Impossible and the Sword of Damocles, available on Amazon. And on page 155 you will find the banner headline: Divock Origi seals Derby tussle with the Blues. Liverpool 2, Everton 0. Divock Origi, the patron saint of late goals, important goals, substitute goals, cheeky goals, Merseyside Derby goals and even a Champions League final winning goal, was back to his old tricks once again today. The Belgian striker is also the patron saint of the widest of smiles that light up the darkest of rooms, the laid-back attitude of a Californian surfer dude riding the sporting waves, and the very epitome of the definition of a team player. And boy did we need his divine intervention today. Until his introduction as substitute once again, and in tandem with the newest of all cop-end idols Luis Diaz on the hour mark, Everton had dominated the dreadful opening 60 minutes of this derby. For dominated, read spoiled, niggled, dived and wasted their way through an hour of stop-start, sour and dour football. Anthony Gordon entered Derby Day folklore with dives that Tom Daly, Greg Louganis for older readers, would have been ashamed of. Richarlison, Everton's unlikable Brazilian striker, was up and down more often than the proverbial underwear of a lady of the night, and whilst these tactics could best be described as one of a team fighting for their lives or the rough and tumble of an old school Merseyside derby, it was a horrible spectacle indeed. Prior to the introduction of Origi, Everton had also carved out the better of the very minimal chances on goal, and local youngster Anthony Gordon was at the centre of their best and most footballing authentic passages of play. His pace down Everton's left-hand side posed Trent Alexander-Arnold constant problems in a game the passionately born red youngster wasn't anywhere near his spectacular best. His defensive mate Joel Matip certainly was, yet he too fell into the spell of Anthony Gordon, both collapsing in a heap in the Liverpool penalty area after a very lengthy chase, and Gordon's second penalty appeal of the afternoon went correctly unanswered from the referee. Post-match, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp dismissed suggestions his players were nervous in the first half, but in truth they were, and more crucially, they were playing to the blue half of Merseyside's tune. The facts are bare. The Reds wanted a high-tempo game in a condensed field of 70 yards. It's their modus operandi. The Blues wanted a stop-start, nothing of a game in a pitch as big as possible to eke out a crucial point against relegation, and perhaps a sneaky goal that might ensure all three. Anthony Gordon had chances to score that elusive goal and before the introduction of a match winner from the red half of Merseyside, but he didn't take them. The patron saint of Merseyside derby goals did. Less than 2 minutes after coming on as substitute, Origi's first two touches were a deft control and instant return pass to Mo Salah. Salah's original pass to the Belgian striker was the first time Liverpool had really penetrated or got behind the blue wall of Everton's defence, and Origi's deft two touches allowed Salah to chip an equally deft and delicate cross into the Blues' 6-yard box. The cross was originally aimed at Diogo Jota, but as the ball drifted above the Portuguese striker, in came Scotland captain Andy Robertson to gleefully head home into the cop-end goal. The reaction to this opening goal was red-shirted Liverpool players leaping into the air with joy all across the pitch. Thiago Alcantara, in perhaps his worst and most ineffective display of the season, leapt and bounded his way towards the scorer Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold too, and lest we forget Virgil van Dijk running toward a cop end, imploring them for more noise and more praise for their Scottish king. I would hazard a guess that Divock Origi had barely a dozen touches of the ball after coming on as substitute, perhaps 15 or so maximum, but every touch was an instant control, warding off a defender at his back and finding a Liverpool red shirt with his pass. His goal was typically predatory, in and around the penalty area and 6-yard box, looking for a pass, a cross, a bounce of the ball or a priceless chance to hit the target. His chance came after a persistent spell of pressure that Everton simply couldn't escape from, and corner after corner was registered on the game's ever-present statistics sheet. Yet another corner was partially cleared to the feet of Jordan Henderson, and his deft chip into the penalty area was scuffed towards goal by Luis Diaz, trying an outrageous overhead bicycle kick that fortuitously found the marauding run of Origi and the patron saint of winning Merseyside derbies had done it again. It took the Cop End at Anfield today 85 seconds before they serenaded their blue counterparts in the away end with a rendition of Going Down, Going Down, Going Down. And it took Divock Origi roughly the same amount of time to garner his first 2 touches of the ball and to be instrumental in blowing this turgid and terrible Merseyside derby wide open. Until his introduction, a dreadful game, utterly blooming dreadful, was meandering to a nervous stalemate that Everton desperately need in their fight against relegation. Yesterday's defeat leaves this storied Merseyside football club in the relegation zone and in danger of a drop into a division so many fellow storied teams of the recent past have struggled to climb back out of. If Everton do not fall through the trapdoor this season, there is a high likelihood they will in 12 months' time. Today's first 45 minutes was as anti-football as anything Sam Allardyce could wish to create in any of his anti-footballing dreams. The comparisons were to a Chelsea team under Jose Mourinho, 10 men behind the ball and the parking of the bus. Today's football didn't include a bus, or a football for that matter. It was an anti-footballing lesson straight out of an England manager's domestic playbook. But the Reds go marching on, beating to the tune of a masterful German drummer and to the heart of his Belgian striker's knack of scoring important goals and at exactly the right time. I opened these match reports on Liverpool earlier this season positing they may very well need 90 plus points to even compete to win the Premier League title this season, and even with this gargantuan points haul still not secure Bill Shankly's bread and butter. That may still be the case, but with 5 league games to go, 15 points to play for and just 1 point behind Manchester City, the mighty Reds of Liverpool are still in every possible competition they entered in a long ago August. And I almost did that one. I almost got there, viewers. I almost got there. Oh well. It's a sunny September afternoon. And I'm sitting in the garden talking to myself and talking to you. And you're sitting there watching me. And I do appreciate you being there. Thanks very much. Here's the book again for the very final time that I'm immensely proud of. There'll be links below as to how you can purchase such a book and other ways and means of supporting me, and I sincerely thank you for being there and for watching, and I leave you in peace and in solidarity and with an addition I almost got correctly in a Beatles t-shirt, and I'll see you again soon.